Hey, yes, I can see your questions and stuff. I know I haven't on. I'm on a bit of sabbatical this week. I have some people I need to answer today. And after I answer Jackson putting my out of office on, I'm definitely not answering anything tomorrow at all. And y'all know I'm off all US holidays and Ishe days. Holidays, that is. Aware. Be very aware. Thank you for dropping the infinity symbol. Let's talk about these EFA questions, shall we? For those of you all who are watching this for the first time, or me talking about this for the first time in general, hi, nice to meet you. Those of you all coming back and you've received a divination from us, welcome. I'm going to put this in the playlist so that people can refer to it in order to get the answers that they need, and so that I don't have to keep emailing or responding or having Jax respond to tell you all what's the proper way to ask these questions. So let's start with the foundation first, okay? If you are new here and you've never been here before and you're watching this for the first time, I implore that you please go back and watch the beginning of the playlist about what a divination is, what an Ebo is, how you get one from us, etc., etc. And I will always say us because I acknowledge my Ifa family. And I say family because there's a bunch of Abos and Babalaos that are behind everything that we do. So I try to collectively always say we and us. A lot of people in the diaspora who practice this tradition, who are in the forefront, that are Yanafas or Babalaos, may not mention extra people. I don't know what that's about, but I do. So there's always a we, us, and that's what I'm talking about. Peace to all y'all. Thank you for dropping the infinity symbol. Good to see you. Now, in the process, I talk about what a divination is, what an Eba is. So when you're here, you should probably already know these things. And by the way, those of y'all that want to make comments, I don't have it locked this time to only subscribers, but I highly suggest that you subscribe in order to participate in my future lives, because I usually lock them to only people who are subscribed, which makes sense to me, respectfully, right? So, and if you don't follow me on the Talk a Tick, that's when I do all the real nitty gritty conversations. So head on over there. The other thing is continue to like, because it helps get the information out there. And my biggest thing is education. So I come here to educate, not shoot the shit, so that people get the real understanding and the basis of an understanding. Because I think a lot of people on this platform and on other platforms, they're all over the place where people aren't understanding the information properly and how it should be done and why it is done the way that it is. Some people may call my process pretty rigorous, especially because I like to do everything via email. Don't text message me stuff. I'm not gonna do it after I call you and stuff. You don't know who's gonna have my phone. It's not always me. And then furthermore, you also don't know why I keep telling you this. I have you all email it. It's protection for you. Any communication that we have, even when you sign up on my website, I highly suggest you read those terms and conditions. And before you check out, read the terms and conditions. I didn't pay a lawyer to do that for nothing. I want you to understand what it is that you're getting. And us communicating via email protects you and me as well. Tells you what we're talking about, what I'm following up on, what you're actually asking me. So be aware of that. Anybody who's talking to you on text all the time, especially for EFA directives, that's not a good thing. So, what I consider an emergency, when people are like, it's an emergency, if you're in the hospital or someone's going to the hospital, this is times when I'll respond on a text, EFA stuff. Hospital or someone you know or something that came up in your divination happens. There's a life or death situation, or you're going through a process where you don't know if you want to be here anymore. Those are the things I consider to be high priority emergency things that I will answer on a text message. You better email me. And the reason that any of y'all that communicate and then you can start to communicate via text, you don't realize that I have a life outside of this. So you don't know what emergency stuff I'm dealing with on this end. And then you're expecting me to respond the same way, but I don't respond the same way, because for me, these things are very distinctful and different. So I need you to be aware of that. There are other things going on that you may not know, right? That go on this end that I have to handle on this end. And then I have crises that happen all the time for people. And those are the things that I'm dealing with external, what you see here. So I want y'all to be very aware of that. And by setting up the boundaries and the times the way that I do, It makes it so that the secondary life, because now it looks like, hey, this is my primary, my secondary life is still in balance. This is not an easy job, contrary to popular belief, okay? And there are hundreds of people that I have to answer and communicate with. So, that being said, let's jump into this setting up how to ask the proper E5 questions. So, after you get your divination, you then read over it. You're then like confused. And I've told you all a couple of times that whatever is listed in there that says it's going to be done or that you may need to do outside of something that you have to clear on that. That's all right. We're back. Excuse me. Divination. You should have engaged with my content. Divination. You should have engaged with my content. You should have engaged with my content. Peace, y'all. Thank you. Some of the basics. So, asking in peace, y'all. Thank you. Some of the basics. So, asking in your divination to evolve. So, yes or no. So, goon, how do I do them? Am I supposed to do them Monday or Wednesday or such and such and such? We've had these conversations. As you know, goon are ancestors. For those, some of you all new here, go watch my Ifa Sheshik playlist, and you can watch the spirituality playlist to understand where I'm coming from. Yeah, it's because I'm, okay, so when you get to your questions, your yes no questions are just that. Asking me about particular, like for instance, when you like to ask Ifa, who are these people against me? Question mark. So this isn't a psychic reading. Ifa's not gonna go, oh, it's John, Billy, and Sue. That's not how this works. When you ask a question, it is Ifa talking about Sam in this directive or in this number? Like, because we number it 1 through whatever. So in number 14, is Ifa speaking about Sam? That is an Ifa question, because then I could say yes or no, i.e. Ifa will tell you yes or no, and then Ifa will expand on that yes or no if it is needed. But, hey, peace. The biggest issue is when you all are asking the yes or no questions, you're so concerned about the specifics that you're forgetting that some of it is irrelevant. For instance, if it is Bob's, so what? Don't do. One, which is why if I brought it up to you. But it's like, how do you handle that? You know that it's going to be taken care of. And because you know it's going to be taken care of, your worry is not to be on that thing. Peace, y'all. Good to see you. So be very, very mindful of what you're asking your IFA questions for. For instance, if it is about a sickness or an illness and it doesn't already state that it's you, or you're like, I don't think this is me, it's someone else, you need to provide the name of that person. You can't just say, well, I think it's, someone in my family. Is it someone in my family? Okay, fine. That's a yes or no. But don't come back and say, well, what's the sickness going to be? That's not how it works. You need to come with specifics. So is the sickness going to be something life-threatening? Is the sickness going to be something that can be cured, et cetera, et cetera? Those are a little bit more specific. Is it cancer? Is it such and such? That is specific. That's what you need to ask. So when you're doing your yes or no questions, stop focusing on I have to say that so much. I have to write this all the time. You're focusing on the wrong thing. You already know because you had your elbow done. Okay, Auntie Yo. You already know that. You already know that you were given the heads up when you got the divination in the first place so that you could be aware. So then focusing on who the person is or whatever, unless it's somebody you're supposed to try to marry, it doesn't make sense. So if you're looking to find out if someone is a good mate for you or anything of that nature, give a name. We can save your time. That's your yes or no. Is this person a good mate for me? Yes or no. Don't go, is this person a good mate for me? And if they're not, what are the traits of the person that's going to be a good mate for me? No, boo. That's not how you ask a yes or no question. Stop equating Ifa to a psychic reading. Ifa doesn't just give you your options. Ifa gives you the directive and the direction on how your Ori is guiding you at this very moment. And then Ifa rectifies and or enhances. I say this a lot. So your questions need to be a question that clarifies specifically or if it's going to be general enough that it can be yes or no. But asking for personality traits, what's the exact job I'm going to do? If you don't have an idea in your mind, if Ifa tells you you're going to have wealth in the career that you choose, and Ifa didn't already tell you you need to be a nurse, you need to do trade, you need to farm. If I already didn't say that, then what you need to do is make sure that you ask the question. So, would I be good as a flight attendant? Would I be good as a nurse? Would I be good opening a home? Such and such and such. Then, if there's an explanation and or a story or a parable or more that needs to be said, if I will say that. You don't have to ask, well, what is the such and such? If you need to know that, don't worry, you're going to get it. But you need to keep it to yes or no. Not yes, no, and what about? That's not how this works. Okay? So this is not a psychic reading. I know that you see people use the term reading all over there. Ifa reading. And I explained in the description that they do that because of keywords. And then also some just don't know better. Real talk. And now divination is so popular online. I heard somebody were teaching so great. Then I heard them call it a psychic divination. Who was this? And I was like, as a psychic, as a gifted person, as a clair, a person who has all the clairs, right? I'm telling you right now, I cannot do what Ifa does. Cannot. I could tell you all your options in your life. I could say, well, if you so choose to do so and so, then that's good for you. But what I cannot do is make sure that the path is clear, is make sure that everything happens in your favor the way it's supposed to. I can't do that. So that is what is different about Ifa. That is why Ifa is Ifa. That's it. So you cannot ask the questions as if you're talking to another person. Hey, so just be clear on that, okay? Now, I saw some questions. I'm car conversations. You know how I'm doing. So I'm going to click on here. And let me also say, Jax, email them to me, please, because I don't want to go out of the app, the questions. And I'll take a look at them on email. Because that I can get. I saw that you took some down if I don't already see them here. So I'm going to pull up this chat so I can see. Thank you all very much. And thank y'all for the likes. Yeah, after dark. Oh, we're supposed to have another date coming up soon. I have to do it before the end of... Y'all, we have to have I need to send out on the email list. Okay, I digress. I need to stick to what we're talking about right now. If you're not signed up on the email list, I highly suggest you do, and then just prepare your juice and or beverage of choice for our social that we'll do live. I hear you. I know it was acting up because I'm on the iPhone. They need to pay me. And y'all know how I feel about iPhones and their internet connection. A mess. Okay. Peace, Talia. Good to see you. Peace, Uprising. Okay. Someone had a question, Jax. And then did they post it? Because I don't see it in my email. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Is there a way to give Ishifa back without punishment? I received Ifa and a warning to not lose faith when I realized I was not ready to receive Isha. Okay, Shantae. Let me so Shantae, let me get this straight. I want to make sure that I'm clear on your question. You Ishefa. Okay, Shantae, you said to give back. Okay, to give Ishefa back. Okay. You received Ishefa, but you weren't ready for Ishefa. I know it's because I'm in the car and it's connecting. It's acting up. I just pause. Does that? The screen goes out, tells me I reconnect. So that I'm clear on your question, though. Thank y'all, though. So when it happens again, just wait for me. I'll be back. I'll just wait. is living its best life. So you have Ishefa now, but you said that you're not ready for Ishefa, and you said you want to give it back. Man, Chante. Okay, so oh, the problem is I'm trying to find the best way to answer this question. Because you got that warning, you need Ishefa. You need that for you. So let me ask you, what is part of your reservation as in not being ready? That means you need it, especially if you got that kind of warning, because those are things that we don't play with. Oh, okay. I'll check that. Kai. Whenever that warning comes out, the reason that you get that is to protect you from what you just said. I can't say it on here because I don't want two of you to be telling me I'm perpetuating information. To protect you from what you just said, but it's actually needed for that to continue to have a balance of energies. So that leads me to believe that in that process, you may have another issue. So with you, what is the problem for you? Is it because of you caring for it and you are nervous about how you care for it, or no one explained to you how to do that? Let me know more of your reservation, because you're not ready. Remember, then expands to everything else. So individually, this is to save you. And saying that if it was done properly, and that's how I'm going to say it, it should have taken you a while. The other thing is, was it done properly? So let me ask you, at any point, did you get to see your ceremony? And then secondly, if you got to see and participate in your ceremony, was there a point where a female was used or there? Let me know those two things, so then I would know if it was done properly or not, so that I can then better tell you whether it's doing what it's supposed to do. And I don't want to be insulting, but those things are very important in that process. So those are the two things, because you having Ishepa is for your life. So giving it back, I don't know about whether that is best for you. If it is about caring for it, I can speak to you about how to care for it. Okay? And it seems complex, but it's just a peace of mind. It's no different than you waking up and breathing. So that's why the ancestor reverence and learning how to do ancestor reverence is so important. Because once you get that consistently, everything else will seem simple. So answer that for me on here, and then I'm going to better answer your question. But typically, people will either bury it, which I don't suggest. There was someone who did that, burying it in the woods. And, man, just the giving back part. If you have to send it back overseas, that's a lot. So answer that for me, because that would be a better way for me to better help you with that. I'm scared to click out, Kai, and see what happens. If I go out of this app, let me see what happens. Y'all might be paused for just a second. Okay? Pause for just a second so that I can make sure that this is working properly the way Kai would like me to have it work in Jack. So that's exactly what it was. It was connecting to the Wi-Fi. Thank you. All right. Okay, the money is causing a divide in my marriage and my family. His husband not supporting monthly consultation. Okay. Causing a divide in my marriage and family, and the husband's not supporting all of the monthly consultation episodes. Okay, all right. Nope. Okay. Yes, and a female was used. Okay. First off, don't send any more money. Don't send any more money. There shouldn't have been more. And then you can't, no. Okay, so Shantae, this is what I want you to do. Send an email to Jax with your phone number on it, and we'll give you a call today. so I can hear more about what's going on that end. Because let me tell you, first off, yes and no EFA questions. When you receive eShefa, you receive the EKIN. So send Jax, if you don't mind, can you put your email address, our general email address for you, in the comments so that she can email you. Send Jax your phone number and email. We'll give you a call today. But whenever you receive eShefa, there's a process, and you receive your EKIN. So I can see why it's causing a stress. You should not be continuously paying for EBOs after that. You don't even have to. You don't even have to go back and get another one if you don't want to. If you don't want to get another divination afterwards, I'll tell you though, we do, once you're in this thing, you are checking and doing that for yourself quite a bit. But you don't have to. The purpose of your eShefa, you should have the EKIN with you. If you don't have the EKIN with you, then it wasn't done and it wasn't done right. You should never, after you receive it, y'all need to make sure y'all go watch my scamming video where I was fussing at people. After you receive it, it's up to you to then care for it. There's no extra stuff. Okay? If you do anything afterwards, like if you want another divination and an EBO, fine. But there's no EBO to keep up with your EKIN. There's none of that. No, ma'am. So we'll call you off here, and then I'll discuss the rest. But don't send anybody any more money. Don't do that. See, y'all, this is why I do what I do. This is what I'm saying. Yes, Sharmika. Yes, it is. Peace, Noble. So, you get your EKIN, it's up for you to take care of your EKIN. If y'all watched when I was in Mexico, and I said I was going with somebody that was going to go get surgery and stuff done, she, for her life, had to get eShefa. She has it at home. Every week, she does what she's supposed to do. I taught her and told her what to do. That's all she's been doing. She hasn't come back for another divination, another whatever. She's good. Peace, Empress. So, this is why I do what I do. This is why we do what we do. And this is why we educate. Okay? But no, listen to me carefully. I might have to add this to the other emails so that y'all are very aware. Okay? First off, you should at some point in your process, peace, William, good to see you. You should at some point in your process have spoken to or seen someone via video call, especially because we have to be trusting to an extent because we're in the diaspora. And then also, in some point in your process, you should be given the option to visually view and participate in whatever you have done. If you can't be there, fine. If they're able to record or send a small recording so that you could see it, fine. Peace, Jacquetta. You need to be aware of that, okay? You have to be able to visually participate. Back in the day, that wasn't something that could be done. You got a phone call, it was done, and you just had to trust that it was done because you're going through somebody. This day and age, it can be done. Internet used to be super expensive over there. It's not super expensive now. Just make sure you're able to see and participate. You should also, the practitioner you're talking to, be able to communicate with them on video at least once. It doesn't need to be all the time, but whenever you say, oh, I need to call or speak to you, you need to do that, especially if you're dealing with people remotely. At no point, unless you are part of an ile, okay, a house, a home, in this practice, should you be having, quote unquote, a monthly fee or monthly ebo. If you're part of an ile as a group, when you all put your money in, that takes care of that because you have things to do as a group for the group to be successful in their personal lives. All right? So keep that in mind. And don't let people think that they just don't understand English, etc., etc. Do you know what the primary official language in Nigeria is? English. It may not be our English, UK dialect, right? Or the UK spellings as well, but it's English. Does that mean that everybody that lives like away from the major cities speaks English well? No, but damn Skippy, somebody in that town, city, village, on the compound speaks English, and they got somebody to translate and speak it for you, because there are 50 million different dialects and languages spoken in the country. So, peace sacred. So, be aware of that. And even in the US, if you're dealing with people who say that they're in this practice in the US, they still should have someone that they're going back to, because there are just certain things that we cannot do here. So make sure that you are able to visually participate. It doesn't always require you to fly there. When people start telling you you have to be here on ground, such and such and such, that is not the case. The only time that you should feel as if you are required to be somewhere on ground and there is for initiation. But nowadays, as you know, Ishefa can be done remotely because you can see it. And if you're doing Ishefa and it takes you an hour, they're doing it wrong. You should be there at least 2-3 hours minimum, from midday to evening their time, or from early morning to evening. Like, I just need you to be aware, okay? But nothing hurts my spirit more than when people get scammed, because all they're trying to do is feel at home. So if you feel that you're not sure and you're watching this video after fact, and you came for your how to ask the yes or no questions, and you're watching this after the fact, send a message on IG with your email and your phone number. Don't give me more than that, because I don't accept all direct messages sent to me. So send it. I'll see it in my other folder, and then my assistant will reach out to you. So if you feel that you're like scared, because I know a lot of them will hassle you all and say, oh, this is going to happen if you don't do this, this, and this. They will hassle you. Let me tell you, we're not going to come back to you to do stuff. You either come or you don't. And if you can't, then that's what it is. Okay? Take your time. It will happen as it should. But no one's going to hassle you to practice something that you feel called to practice. That's not how it works. That's not how it's supposed to work. And anyone who's hassling you either here or external of here, i.e. in the Western world or external of the Western world, they are not for your higher good, and that is not someone you need to be going to when you're dealing in this practice. So if there's any more questions that you all may have, and Jax put her email down, so you good. There any more questions that you have as far as asking a proper Ifa yes or no question after you received the divination and you got your elbow, because we do it after the elbow, right? Your yes or no, and you get your yes or no's answered, then we follow up that way. And just so you're aware, people in the comments right now who have had yes or no questions, Sacred Lotus, Talia, who else is here? Jax had a yes or no questions after their elbow. Who else I know already had one? Deidre, bless her heart. I had to go back and forth with you 1,000 times. No, I'm just playing. But don't think surface level. Think life level, because you want your questions to help with your life. Also, just so you're aware, you can ask questions that are not in your divination about your life after you receive your Ebo. So if you're like, I'd like to move, but that didn't come up in my divination. Is it safe for me to move to this state? Or should I move to this state, or this state? You know who else has had questions? Divine by Design, i.e. Vivian. Her son was asking about colleges and universities that he's interested in. Will he get accepted, or should he go to these? Should he apply to these places? Because, you know, people want to look at their safety and if it'll benefit them. He also asked about his study. Vivian, I don't even know if you know he asked me this. But he also asked about his study. Like, should I study this or should I study that? Will I be successful? And remember, this is a kid. And I'm saying kid relatively because he's under 20, right? He's 18, about to go to school. His questions were so on point for his follow-up. Once he understood what he could ask, he asked, should I study this? Will I be successful in studying this? Are these schools? He gave us like 5 schools. Out of these schools, will I be accepted, or which one would be the best for me? I've had people send in, if I gave a directive after they did their EBA, If people gave a directive that said, I'm not supposed to just take on anybody's job, then they send me the jobs that they're getting interviews for or companies they're looking at. Like there are 5 companies. Can Ifa tell me if in these 5 companies, which ones will be good for me? Those type of questions are awesome. And it's all in one setting. It's not a whole bunch of back and forth because I've explained that it takes a little bit of time to do each one. Deirdre, it doesn't even matter if they are white or not. My baby. Yep, he did. He contacted me and asked this stuff. Like, I was like, okay, we on our grown, I'm about to go to college self. You know what I'm saying? I said, okay, come on, young man. Thinking about his future. And then in another note, let me set this here, which is going to be interesting because I don't know how I'm going to put this on the playlist. And I'm going to call you out. I hope you don't mind. Okay. So, Jacquetta, with her kind spirit and her obatala self, she asked if she could start a pool to help people who want to get a divination or an EBA. I have 3 people now that have been having problems paying for their EBA, which is fine. They're taking the time, but they're stressed about it. And so she sent in money this morning to my Cash App, and she labeled it EBO/divination in order to have a pot to help people pay for such. And so I'm grateful to you, and we are grateful to you. When I spoke to Alu about that yesterday, he was like, wait, what? he was like, wait, your people there? He was like, our people? That's how he says it. First is your people. He's always going to say your people. Then he's like, our people there? He's like, they want to do what? And I'm like, exactly. So I said via Cash App, that's where I'll set it because that keeps that money separate. And my Cash App is not set up to be for a business. It's personal. So in that, she sent quite a bit to start the process. So if anybody else wants to do the same thing, any little bit that you give is fine. Just put EBO/divination, and I'll know that it goes for that. I think intendedly, it would help people with their EBO. I don't know if it, depending on divination, or if somebody reaches out. When I get back, I have 3 divinations that I'm supposed to be doing as like a contest or something on here. So prepare for that. There'll be 3. And those come from people who just decided they didn't want to do it anymore. So I'm like, fine, you don't want to do it anymore? We'll pass that blessing on to somebody else. But that's what she asked. She said, is there some way that we can help people who can't afford to pay it? Or it will help them, or, you know. So because of that, there's a pot that started. And it will sit there until it's time for it to be used. I haven't reached out to the 3 people yet because I need to look and see what it is that they have left or what's going on. But they are in, like, one just lost her job right after she got it a couple of months ago. It might have been, and I thought about her immediately, might have been October, November. Right afterwards, she lost her job and it was unexpected. So she's definitely the first one that I foresee getting the help on that. And then the other 2, one of them's on a fixed income. So I foresee them getting that. And then another one just became in dire straits after COVID and then taking care of her parents with COVID and all of these other things. So much so that she's just like, and she has a pet that she had to give up because she couldn't care for them. So there you have it. And Kaylin, yes, there is. There is a wait list. We're only doing wait list only now. It's no more scheduled. And I sent it out. We have, Jax, how many people we got on there now? 80. I had to do 67B, and so 80-something people. We're in the 20s, and we have 80-something people. But the people who signed up recently, they know they're not going to get theirs until end of April, early May now, for the signups now. So, yes, it will always be a wait list. I know, right? And that's after we had 209 total scheduled divinations. So the wait list is now 80-something. Okay, thank you. 84. Sheena, thank you. So Cash App and put EBO/divination to contribute. And that's what it goes for. That's what it'll be used for. I said, that's perfect. And that was so kind of her. So thank you. So yeah, Shamika, I suggest getting on the wait list because you get in there sooner than later. And then, then we do elbow. Like people who paid for their elbow at the beginning of the month and mid-month yesterday are just going to get their elbows done before I leave. And you said, can you send it? Hold on. You said, can I send mine through Cash App? Yeah, Deidre, I'm doing it Cash App only right now. I'm not going to do Zelle because it's not a business expense. This is purely people donating. So it's just Cash App. I have Venmo too, but I don't use that thing. That's why it's not appearing. So Cash App only, please. If you want to Zelle it to me, then you're going to have to email me to talk to me about Zelle. But I only do it for Cash App, for the donation. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, Cash App. And it's my name, capital S, capital C. And that's it. So if you're interested in donating to that, please do so. It'll be there. Oh my gosh. No, girl. I'm going to talk to you offline. Jax, please put down for us to call Deidre next. There's a reason that I don't take Cash App for elbows. I don't take Cash App or PayPal for them. And there's a reason I don't do that. First off, my Cash App account is not set up as a business account. It was, and then I changed it back. In that, if I do Cash App for business, not only is it reported in taxes differently. Y'all know I do stuff on the up and up now. Come on now. Not only is it reported in taxes differently, but they also take a percentage of what it's sent. Which means you're still going to have to pay more the same way you do with Stripe when I have you do Stripe. So Stripe is the only other way to pay for your elbow. If you want to pay a little extra, you can use Cash App on Stripe, just so you know. They have a program that I'm a part of that allows you to use your Cash App and your Cash App card on the Stripe. Stripe is a payment processor, a direct link. So you're still going to have to pay the extra, though, because they still take out a fee because it's a business. The reason I'm able to do what I do with Cash App now is because you're not giving it to me for a business expense. It's personal. You're sending it to me personal. So even in this instance, you were sending funds in a personal way. Y'all know I do stuff on the app. I don't mess with the federal government, okay? Got too many people in my family that work for them. And then I want to keep my stuff, and OPM watches my stuff. They've been watching it because I was on some list of people who work for the government. They got leaked somewhere around the interwebs some years ago, and they watch everything that I do. And so I don't play no games when it comes to checks and balances. And I have certifications I need to keep up. So no, I don't mix the funds, boo. I don't mix the funds. Okay? All right, y'all. It's about to start raining. Y'all saw it got dark, or maybe yeah. So I'm going to go. So if you want to send it and you want to use your Cash App to send to pay for your elbow, you may do so via my Stripe link that I send you in the email that tells you how to pay for it. And when you click on the word Stripe and that link, you can use Cash App, you can do Afterpay, you can do Clearing and all that stuff, anything you want to do. But there's literally going to be an extra fee on top of it because of the money that they take out. I generalize the fee. They do it by percentage, and I generalize it. So I still lose out on this end and still end up paying for whatever the difference is in it because y'all's prices aren't the same. So just be aware. But I'm just trying to keep it as general as possible and not make it complicated. So yes, you can use Cash App over there. But for donations only, $ Chandra Charisse, and put elbow/divination. I'll confirm that I received it and thank you in advance, and it will go to a great cause, and I appreciate you. And Jacquetta, thank you for the suggestion. So on that note, the two people that we're going to reach out to, we will give them a call. We'll give you a call in a few minutes. I'm going to talk to Jax first because I can talk to you before I get started, and then after I get off here, I'm off here for the day. I don't think y'all going to get EI after dark today. I may go and talk a tick for a little bit. But it's good to interact with you all. Missed you. Go back and watch all the other stuff. Deidre, her name is Jacquetta. And she's right here on here live now. And I appreciate her Obatala spirit. All right. So that being said, I will holler at you later. Follow me on all the things. Be blessed. Be well. And we'll catch you on the flip side. Like the old people say. We'll catch you on the flip side. Talk to you later. All right, peace.